Chabot College works diligently each and every day to provide high quality of instructional programs to our students. Standard 2A instructional programs can be divided into three operational standards: curriculum review and approval, mapping and assessment, and program review. The college utilizes these three procedures to ensure that all of our programs aligns with the mission, vision, and values. At Chabot College, faculty have purview over teaching and learning. Faculty work collaboratively in the design and improvement of the learning experience by engaging in curriculum development. While our faculty have purview over the development of the curriculum, the ultimate approval of courses and programs falls under the curriculum committee. The curriculum committee follows all statutes and guidelines when reviewing and making the decision in approval of courses and programs. As we all know, assessment is essential to student success and achievement. Over the past years, the OAC committee have been working to support our faculty by tracking and validating assessment within the college. Our faculty also participate in program review. All areas that complete program review are academic programs, all service areas, and all shared governance committees. The overarching purpose of engaging in program review is one, to summarize and reflect on progress towards improvement of our goals, document our challenges, ensuring that we request the correct resources in order for us to make changes that will positively affect our student experience.
Now we'd like to present Standard 2B, Library and Learning Support Services, specifically the Learning Connection. Before we go any further, we'd like to first acknowledge everyone who shared their knowledge and expertise throughout this process. Standard 2B team members include Roland Belcher, Gabriel Chaparro, Dr. Jamal Cooks, Salima Mizmak Shabazz, Patrick Mwamba, Abigail Patton, Pedro Reynoso, Rachel Tupper-Eoff, and Jane Wolford. Now let's look at how the Library and Learning Connection meet this standard. Standard 2B includes 4 sections or substandards that speak to how Chabot supports student learning and achievement through the library and learning support services provided to students and to personnel responsible for student learning and support. For Standard 2B1, the self-study confirms that Library and Learning Connection services and resources are sufficient in quantity, currency, depth, and variety to support educational programs across the Chabot College curriculum. For Standard 2B2, the self-study confirms that both the Library and Learning Connection have processes in place for selecting and maintaining educational equipment and materials in order to support student learning and enhance the achievement of Chabot's mission. For Standard 2B3, the self-study confirms that the Library and Learning Connection services and resources are regularly and systematically evaluated to assure they contribute to the attainment of student learning and service area outcomes. And finally, for Standard 2B4, the self-study confirms that Library and Learning Connection collaborations with external institutions or sources are formally documented and are adequate for the institution's intended purposes. Let's look a little closer at each substandard. For Standard 2B1, evidence collected through the self-study demonstrates that Library and Learning Connection services and resources are sufficient in quantity, currency, depth, and variety to support educational programs across the Chabot College curriculum, as illustrated by the examples listed here. Now let's move to Standard 2B2, which shows how the Library and Learning Connection select and maintain educational equipment and materials to support student learning and enhance the achievement of Chabot's mission. We don't do this alone. We rely on the appropriate expertise of faculty and other learning support services professionals to achieve this. Both the Library and Learning Connection have established processes in order to meet this standard, as illustrated on this slide. Standard 2B3 focuses on how the Library and Learning Connection evaluate their services and resources in order to assure their adequacy in meeting identified student needs. What's key here is that the evaluation of these services includes evidence that they contribute to the attainment of student learning outcomes. Both the Library and Learning Connection rely on 2 major evaluative sources: data collected by the Office of Institutional Research and biannual student surveys. These sources corroborate that the Library and Learning Connection resources and services contribute to the attainment of student learning outcomes and provide the basis for improvement. Finally, the last substandard, 2B4, Formal Agreement and Adequate Services, assures that when we as an institution collaborate with other institutions or other sources for library and other learning support services for our instructional programs, we document that formal agreements exist and that such resources and services are adequate for the institution's intended purposes, are easily accessible, and utilized. And again, some examples of formal agreements for external collaborations are shown here. Lastly, we'd like to share an example of evidence that the Library and Learning Connection have collected that highlight the great work we're doing and also demonstrate how Chabot meets this standard. So, what are Chabot students saying about our library and learning support services? The Fall 2019 student survey administered by the Office of Institutional Research showed that the majority of students who used the library services were satisfied or very satisfied, with 95% for the library overall. Similarly, this same student survey showed that the majority of students who use Learning Connection services were satisfied or very satisfied, ranging from 88 to 91%. And so, through the evidence we've collected and in writing this institutional self-evaluation report, we can see that the college meets the standard. On behalf of the Standard 2B Subcommittee, thank you for your time and attention.
Hello, my name is Debbie Trigg, and I'm the Dean of Counseling here at Chabot College. I would like to share with you Standard 2C, Student Support Services. Before going into my presentation, I would like to introduce you to our team members. They were myself, Shannon Stanley, who was one of our writers, Frances Fon, who was an additional writer, Patricia Molina, Yvette Nahinu, Kathy Medina, Paulette Lino, Sean Day, and Teresa Pedrosa. Our main points are 2C1, evaluating the quality of student services to support the college mission. 2C2, identifies and assesses outcomes. 2C3, equitable access for all students. And 2C4, co-curricular and athletics to promote student development and college mission with integrity and sound finances. 2C5 provides counseling and/or academic advising to support student development and goals. 2C6, clear admission policies and educational pathways aligned with the mission. 2C7, evaluates admissions and placement instruments and practices for effectiveness and to minimize bias. And 2C8, secure and confidential records storage with published policies for release of student records. So our key processes: student satisfaction services. Our college conducts a biennial student survey to evaluate student satisfaction with the Chabot College experience, including campus student support services, to align with the college's mission and goals. These surveys provide direct input from students regarding their experience with their services. Student Services Program Review. Through the program review process and student surveys, Chabot College evaluates and demonstrates its commitment to supporting student learning. Review institutional research data. It is crucial to consistently review the data in order to inform us on how best to provide and/or update services to our students. And then collaboration with co-curricular programs. Chabot College offers both co-curricular and athletics programs, which are aligned with the college's learning-centered vision and mission. This collaboration includes dedication to equity and to student learning inside and outside the classroom to support students' achievement and their educational goals. Key evidence. Counseling and/or academic advising were provided to support student development, career, and personal goals. These services are timely, useful, and accurate. Provide clear admission policies and educational pathways that are aligned with the college's mission. Evaluate admissions and placement instruments and practices for effectiveness and to minimize bias. Provide secure and confidential record storage, which include published policies for appropriate release of student records. Given the evidence that we've collected and the composition of this ICER, we believe that the college meets the standard 2C. Thank you very much.